Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Okay, so what we've got for you today, we've got PDC. Now in a previous video I had done the aftermarket parking sensor modification, and I did that with the camera as well, and that was displayed then on my Android screen at the time. I really wanted the proper PDC, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you all the parts, etc., how to fit it and everything else, and how to then code it into the car. This is the rear and front. I mean, you can use this video for just doing the rear. If you only want the rear one in, it's a lot simpler. Saves running wires through to the front bumper as well. But that's what we're going to do here, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know. So thank you very much. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, so today we are going to fit front and rear PDC, which is parking distance control. Now this video can be used for just fitting the rear, or it can be used for fitting both front and rear. Okay, the parts you'll need. So you'll need some sensors. Now these can be pre-color coded, or as I'm going to do here, I'm going to remove the rubber thing. We've got some spray paint which is the correct colour for my car. We're going to spray it very carefully, gentle coat the exterior of the sensor. So we have 8 of those clips that stick onto the inside of the bumper. Again, we have 8 of those. Got a module. Now this is the various modules throughout the years that will do both front and rear, and various models again that will do just front as well. This is front and rear one. Okay. Now you've got 2 ways of doing this. You can either buy a retrofit kit, which supplies all the clips, all the cabling, and the various bits and bobs to fasten the loom through the car. Or you can get second-hand used ones, either from the E89 directly, which are few and far between, but not impossible to find. The problem with that is the majority of the loom, if it was built from the factory, it was built in to the main loom, so you're going to have to modify something there. Or as I'm doing here, I'm cobbling together looms from other vehicles. First of all, this is my power and control cable loom. This will have to run for a bit extended and run through to the front of the car. Here's my rear loom, and here's my front loom. Okay, right, now to get these second-hand used ones, for the rear loom, because the paste that goes from the outside to the inside is a fixed rubber sealed unit. So what we're going to have to do here then is to slice into the original rubber seal to run in the new wires. Original idea here was to run a completely different loom, but unfortunately that failed, so I still had to take the boot off the replacement one and then run it in. I ended up using another E91 rear loom for this, as it worked perfectly okay. As for my front loom, I've got a 3 series one which only has the parking sensors on it. Again, this will need to be modified. You need to take that rubber boot off this one, which I've already done already. So that one's ready to be extended and sorted out. Okay. Now, sorting it out. So that's really just taken off the rubber boot. It's left some gungy rubber on there, but that's okay, that's fine. We're going to be cutting it at that point anyway, so that's not a problem. So you need this end to be chopped off. You can use this for the rear end of a car, and this end chopped off for the front bumper. We will then get a tie lock connector, which is a six-way connector. That comes complete. You got all the little pieces in there, the pins both sides, and the double connector. That's a waterproof connector. We have some wrapping tape, and then we need some multi-core wire. This is 0.35mm thin wool, especially for automotive use. This is the advert from eBay where I got it, and I got various different colours. and then we're going to run basically that through the car, connected to the 6-way connector at the front, which then connects to the front part of the loom, and at the rear end we will splice it into the rear part of the loom that goes to the plug. Okay, that'll all make sense as we go through the video. So at the plug end, so we'll have the rear plug, which one, whoops, do it the right way around. Got the rear plug, that'll go in there, fit straight in. You have your power plug once you've extended on there as well, it goes in there, goes straight in, and then this one would originally have been a rear plug, so it shouldn't go in that hole. But what I've done is I've modified, taken off the 2 splicers either side, just taking them off, so it now fits in the front one. But I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. Take that one back out, isn't it? To the front, that one go back in. That's got your 2 lugs, one there, which stops it from going in the front one, and then they go in the back one. So this is now modified, this now goes in that one, that's your front there. That goes in the boot. Again, we'll show you exactly full position of how to fit all this when we're out of it. Okay, so that's all that. That's all your parts. So you got your rear loom, you got your modified loom for the front, you got your extending cable, you got your plug coupler, wrapping tape, and some normal tape as well. This is non-sticky, proper wrap tape. You got your 8. Or if you're only doing the rear, you want your 4 clips, bumper clips, and then you've got your 8, or again if you're doing your rear, your 4 sensors, your module, and your spray paint colour coded to your car. Oh, and along the way, of course, we may need some extra crimps. I don't think it will, because we're using the original plug, so we'll probably get away with that one today. Okay, also if you're going to fit front PDC, then you're going to need the new switch unit for the centre console. Now, if you only currently have roof operation buttons, then you'll need 9146642. If you've got seat heating as well, you'll need 9146645. And if you've also got auto stop start, then you'll need 9227820. They're not interchangeable. You do need the correct switch unit for what you currently have, plus the front PDC button as well. And that's about it. Let's go for a car. Okay, so wiring loom then for the front sensor array. We have the front left center, front right center, and front right sensors. Okay, so wiring wise, terminal 1 on each of the sensors is then wired through to the respective pin outs on the plug coupler that goes into the module. Pin 3 on each sensor is then wired in together, so they only go back as one wire back to the plug coupler. And this is the same with pin 2 as well. So basically what I've done there is I've wired all the pin 3s together and then extended the wire through to pin 5 on the plug coupler. And then with pin 2s, I've wired all the pin 2s together and wired them back to pin 2 on the plug coupler. Okay, moving on to the rears, these are all just wired straight in. So following the wiring diagram directly, there is a wire from each pin back to the plug coupler. Now, if you, like I say, you're using an original loom here anyway, then that'll already be wired in, so there's no need to adjust this loom in the slightest. Okay, so onto the front bumper then. We've got a T20, 7 of those on top of the bumper under the rubber strip. Leading edge of each wheel well, you've got 3 10mm screws,
Under the front edge you've got 5 10mm screws as well. Nothing back there. Ignore my damaged air dam. And then you got a further 3 again on the other side as well. And there's the third one up the top just there. Okay, so take all those out, pop out your leading edge of the bumper. And just inside the top edge of it, you'll be able to see there's another screw that's just holding it in place. Just show you just here, that one just there. And that's accessed by pulling out the wheel arch liner, and you've got a screw just there. There we go. Undo one on each side of those, and then your front of your bumper is completely loose. Now, obviously put something on the ground just to protect your paintwork of your bumper. And you can only pull it so far because of course you've got your hoses for your headlight washers. So these should be marked. Mine happen to have tape in from the factory. Don't know whether that's standard or not, but actually shows up the marks for drilling even more. So do a pilot hole from the reverse side out for each hole, and then from the outside use your stepper drill and drill your 18mm hole. Be very gentle doing this. Just do a bit at a time. Obviously mark off where your 18mm is on your step drill, and that leaves a nice finish on the end of it. Okay, working back on the inside again, you now need to remove your tape if you've got tape on it. And even though it does leave a nice clean surface, I still decided to give it a wipe over with the Alco wipes anyway. And let that dry. Do that to all 4. And then you're ready for your clips. Now these go a certain way around, so lay those out and then just make sure that your sensors fit in the hole at this stage. So what we've got for the way this sit is your plug coupler needs to be facing out. So obviously the 2 left hands go to the left, 2 right hands go to the right. Obviously make sure the clips, or rather the sensors, fit inside the clips only one way. So make sure that is the correct way around before you actually stick them to the bumper. Now I did this on a nice warm day, so it stuck very nicely, but yeah, you may need a little bit of heating up just to make sure. Give it a good push in, and then make sure your sensors fit as well. Okay, so get your loom, lay it out on the bumper, and we're going to tie it and pull tie it to the bits that stick up there. I'll show you that in just a second. So this is the pull ties I got. They got the little metal gripper on there as well, which is universal. It goes both sides. And you just slide it out, get your clip and push it on top of those. I believe that is the official way of putting them on as well. That's the position that BMW use as well. So slide your clips in. So slide your pull ties in, and then just feed your wires through, having clipped each clip into the appropriate sensor. And then pull tie them up. That's your 6-way block connected. Right, now on the rear bumper you've got 10mm screw heads. That's what we look like, those type of things. Then on the inside, again you've got them here, there. And that's on both sides, so you've got 2 more there. Just to release your rear section of your wheel arch liner. Just push that out. You would need to gain access to a 10mm bolt that's at the top here, just where my hand is. There is an 8mm next to it apparently. You don't want to be taking the 8mm out. Well, it doesn't do you any favours. So just remove your 10mm. And again on the other side. So working your way in on the inside of the boot, you need to remove these plastic 2-part clips. A bit tricky to get out. So that's what we look like. There's quite a few of those around. So remove all those from this panel on the right hand side here. And then you want to be removing this plastic trim as well. There's 3 on this one. And then pop off the rear part. It just clips in. Okay, remove your trim piece. Then you want to be putting your boot into service mode in a moment. In the meantime, take out these other clips. You've just got access to them. This is the panel that's in front of the rear light. So, I say put your roof into your boot lid into service mode, and then that gains you access to be able to take this plastic trim out. Okay, so to put the car into service mode, get your key fob, press and hold the unlock button, and this will start the roof motion off. Okay, so you want your rear shell over the top of the front shell and the rear boot lid up. At this point, release the button and the roof will stop in this position. But if you've got a smart top, what you're going to have to do is, when it gets to that straight up position for the rear deck, is press the lock button twice. That will then stop the roof from moving and you'll be in service mode. Obviously, you'll have to unlock the car again to gain access to it. Okay, you don't need to be removing your rear lights on this one, like I did on this video. Okay, so you're going to put your little trim tool in there. Whether it helps or not is a different matter, to be honest. You just need to pull your bumper out. Be very careful though, just gentle movements all around. There's a lot of grime in there, and that's probably what's sticking it in there more than anything else. Again, you want something on the floor to lay the bumper onto, unlike I did in this video. Just keep tugging at it until you can gain access to it. Like I say, I took this video from my original parking sensor install video. So you'll see some things that are not the original BMW sensors on this video. Right, disconnect your number plate lights and then lay your bumper down. Again, you want to be looking for the marks. This one wasn't taped, it was just, could just see them. It's not a very good picture of them. This one shows up a bit better. There you go. And then you want to be doing exactly the same to this as you did on the front one. We should do a pilot hole from the inside out, and then your 18mm step drill from the outside. Okay, once your holes are drilled and you're happy with them, clean up the inside again with your alcohol wipes. I know I just gave it a general clean anyway because I didn't want all that muck on there. But yeah, always clean it with an alcohol wipe. That cleans up the surface properly. Okay, and now it's time to stick the sensor brackets to the bumper. As you'll see this time though from the diagram, the connectors are the other way around. Your plug coupler for each sensor is facing into the bumper, so your two left ones are facing in and the two right ones are facing in from the opposite way around. Okay, stick these brackets on and then fit your sensors, and we're ready to put it back on the car. Right, so here's your rubber grommet. Just give it a slice to be able to get your cables through there, and then feed your wires through. This is a run of wires. I use the clips at the back here to hold the new wire in place, and then cleaned the edge of the top of the bumper, and then cleaned out the groove that it fits into as well, just so it slides in a lot better. Okay, connect up your wires. You want to be lining up this edge just here with the bodywork. Obviously, if you got your lights in place, and you won't have too much of a difficulty there, unlike I do when I did this video. And here's a quick shot around of the finished result of the sensors. Okay, working on the inside of the car, we need to move some trim. So pop these trims up. There's about 5 or 6 clips on that. Let's get underneath the edge of it and pop it up. And this rear trim, pull off your rubber seal, and then you've got this plastic trim just here. You've got one clip down the bottom there, and then we have a 10mm nut hidden just there. So you just want to remove that, and this gains your access to be able to just prise the trims back a little bit. Working back in the boot, you need to remove the trim towards the bulkhead. Just pop off your, again, 2-part pegs. I find most of these are a little easier with the metal extracting tool. So remove the trim once all your pegs are out. So once all your pegs are out, you can then remove the forward trim. And then we're looking in this area down here where the cables go through originally. There you go, that hole there, that goes through to the front of the car. Or rather, that goes through to the cockpit. Remove your top trim, remove your speaker grill, remove your speaker. Put them to one side, because you're going to use that speaker hole there as your access through. It saves removing the entire rear trim. And you can just get your hand through there, and then you can feed through a pull wire to the boot compartment. So you can pull your wires through. Now these wires will be your wires through to your front PDC loom, and of course then your power and CAN bus loom as well. There we go, we've got a wire on there. Again, this is from my previous video, so this is not the PDC loom, but it gives you the idea. Feeding it through, you're pulling it through from the other side. And there we go. And we pulled it straight through. You then want to feed it down through the trims, along the door well, and you through to the front footwell. Okay, remove your 3 screws for your lower trim, and then remove that out of the way, and your 3 screws on your other side, your passenger well, and remove that one as well. Okay. I'm not sure if it'd be easy to remove the fuse box here or not, but if you do, there's your metal clip. It's a 1/4 turn anti-clockwise, and then you just need to release the wiring looms, etc. out of the way to gently pull down the fuse box. Fuse box lowers down and then pulls forward. Just like that. Okay, so now for the making of the power and CAN bus lead. Okay, so here's the wiring diagram for it. So your power input is onto pin 7 of a black connector, and that's from pin 7 of X11003, which is fuse free in the junction box, which is that one just there. C2 noting pin 7. For the negative, it's pin 12, and that goes down to the driver's footwell, and you've got an earthing point just there. These diagrams are from the actual official retrofit guide. So for your CAN bus ones, 8 and 2, there you go through to position 1 here, which is your footwell module, and then they are connected accordingly. And then your rest of your PDC front loom goes through the grommet in the bulkhead and through to the front of the car to plug into your connector for a front PDC loom. Okay, as an alternative to running through forward into the fuse box and then into the footwell module, what you could do is use the central plug for the roof module. This has power and it has the CAN bus lines as well. So you've got your thicker gauge red for your positive, your thicker gauge brown for your negative, and then you've also got the orange and green wires for the CAN bus. Run back a little bit from the plug points itself, solder into these. This is what I did in the end. I disconnected the pins from the actual plug itself, ran some heat shrink over it to make a good bond on it, and then run it in that way, and found that a lot easier. Okay, now you've run all your wires, fit your module into its receptacle in the polystyrene panel in the boot, and plug the plug couplers in accordingly. Right, so we're now on to coding. Now what I've got open here is I've got my BMW tools and I've got my work folder. But in the meantime, we'll start off with IMPA. We'll open IMPA up after plugging the cable in. And we've got a cable found, yes, and ignition on. So that's fine. Quit that, and we're down to NCS Expert. Open NCS Expert, up to File, Load Profile, and we want Expert Modus. Click on that, click on OK. Down to F1 Start, over to F3 Chassis, down to E89, highlight E89, click OK, click OK for CAS, and wait for that to populate FG and FA, back to F6 back, F4 process ECU, CAS, OK, and F4 read ECU. This is just to put a TRC file and subsequently then change it into a MAN file. So minimize that screen a moment, go over to your work folder, find your TRC file, highlight it, right click, and we're down to rename. Delete off TRC and replace it with MAN. Accept that. Yes. Okay, now we're back to NCS Expert. Up to File, Load Profile, Manipulation, OK. Over to Start, F1 Start. Edit VO, F2. E89, OK. OK. And then in the attribute box, you want to be doing $symbol 508 for full PDC or 507 for rears only. Now when you hit the add button, it won't jump automatically. Mine's jumped because mine's already in there, but you'd then drop down and make sure it's there. Click OK, F6 back, process ECU, F4, CAS, OK, change job F2, FA underscore right, highlight, OK, F3 execute job, coding active, coding ended. Change ECU, NFRM, OK, F3 execute job, coding active, coding ended. Close NCS Expert. go back to BMW Tools, open NCS Expert again, up to File, Load Profile, Manipulation, OK, F1 Start, F3 Chassis, E89, OK, OK with CAS, wait for it to load, F6 back, F4 process ECU, and we'll go with CIC first. It doesn't make any difference which way around, but CIC will do first. OK, leave it as job name SG_coderin, CIC there, F3, execute job, coding active, coding ended. Change ECU F1, then find PDC. Here we are, PDC, OK. Again, SG_coderin, execute job, coding active, coding ended. That's it. You've coded in your PDC. Okay, so this is the original E89 screen. Okay, so what I've done here is I've just activated the button in the dash, and then I'm just driving forward, so it's showing, it's picking up my fence panel, my fence posts on the side here mainly, and now the wall ahead of me. Okay, we'll just roll back. And this is reversing with my MMI box, my Android Auto. So I've got the camera on this one. Again, you've got your PDC view on the right hand side there. It's a bit more blocky than the original BMW version. And this is reversing into my drive. Sorry, it's a little bit slower. It's just I'm making sure I'm videoing what I'm doing as well as watching what I'm doing. That's generally picking up the fact that there's a fence on the left hand side of the car. Well, certainly the gate to start with, and then it's the gap for the panels, and then the posts it picks up more on. But with my MMI and my camera, I've got my direction bars on the screen as well there. And there's different tones between front and rear, and different, and it uses different speakers between left and right as well. So that gives you a sort of spatial effect, so you can sort of work out from which direction the obstacle may be. And it works out quite well, especially with my drive. So now we'll move on to my new MMI box. This is the full screen picture I get. Sorry about the quality of this. Unfortunately, it's an extremely sunny day when I did this. But you'll see that you've now got full screen with the MMI box, and your car projection for the sensors, etc., is a little smaller, but obviously over on the right hand side of the screen. It still shows up extremely well, and it's nice having it widescreen, gives that a bit more of a picture to your screen, to your view. So anyway, I hope that's been useful to you. I hope you've enjoyed this video, well, I'll be back with another retrofit very, very soon. And thanks for watching. I'll see you again. Bye.